Soldiers of Shoot.
Woo! As they head into the main show, they introduced JR as one of the commentators, which was very cool. And I'll say this before we get into the first match, and I want to hear your thoughts about this. I was very hard on JR for his work with New Japan.
Yes.
Especially the live shows. Because, I mean, he's confusing Mark and Jay Briscoe. He didn't know Tamatanga from Tangaloa. It was tough. It just was tough. I heard an interview with him on Busted Open with LaGreca and Bully. And he basically said he didn't get a lot of support and, you know, the setup wasn't for him and it was very informal and he didn't get the information he needs, but he knows he can still commentate and he really wants to do that, but he also wants to provide a lot for AEW, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. I was very interested to see how JR was going to handle this show. Given coming off that and people being so critical of him, although we know he's great, let's face it, the New Japan stuff wasn't his best work. Far from it. You know, just your thoughts about that heading into the show and what you thought from JR.
I had the same thing with New Japan. I mean, he had some trouble there. Now, he said it was preparation, but, you know, there's only so much you could do, I guess. But I did want to talk about the commentary, and I thought maybe we could, you know, since we're talking about JR here, first thing, you can hear Boomer Sooner started playing. Mm-hmm. And they went to the crowd, and we were talking amongst ourselves, where are the commentators? You know, because we weren't sure exactly. We're assuming now that they were up in a box. But it looked like, I think they should have just walked him out anyway, just to let the crowd have that moment. Because they showed him backstage, and then there was a crowd shot, and then the song ended. I thought to myself, that was weird. You didn't really get that moment for the crowd.
Right, he never really came out.
Right.
You know what? That's a good point. Did we ever see where they actually were?
No, just that they had a couple shots of them, but I think they were up. You know, they were higher, so I'm assuming they were in some kind of box.
That's interesting. It may have something to do with the arena.
Yes.
You know, maybe when they get back to Sears, they may be on the floor. You know, because the commentator. Well, no, the commentators were set back, but there was a table on the floor. For this show, they kind of had that timekeeper stand.
Yeah.
And you had a timekeeper and Justin Roberts, who, you know, while we're on the subject, that guy's the best fucking ring announcer in wrestling. Justin Roberts is tremendous.
Pretty good.
I don't know. I love him, dude. I really do. I think he's great. But and listen,
let me ask you this: do you have a preference? Do you like your announcers down on the floor, or doesn't it matter to you?
You know what? I never really thought about it.
Okay, all right.
Here's what I would say, and this is kind of just thinking out loud here. No, but I'll say this: if you want to be sports centric, like they keep talking about,
yes,
boxing, MMA, why not put the damn announce table right up against the ring? Just like in boxing. I know it's different, and I know they're gonna have to consider where they're doing their movesets at times.
Right.
But could you imagine like JR fucking sitting there right up against, like I'm talking a table against the fucking ring.
Mm-hmm. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, listen, we've said this to Vince, so like Cody and Tony, yeah, if you need a little help, you know, hit us up on Twitter.
Call us, Con. We're available.
We don't come cheap either, so don't think of no fucking discounts.
Here's the other question I had for you.
We negotiated with our parents for 2 pay-per-views a month. We'll negotiate with you.
Oh, we can get it done. We can get it done. Here's the other question I had for you. I'll say it like this, and then you can give me your opinion. I liked hearing JR I thought Excalibur was okay. He was a little over the top at some points for some people, I think, but I enjoyed it because it reminded me of, ridiculous wrestling announcers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the third guy has to go.
Everybody hates him.
Okay. How do you feel about it? Because I think they'd be way better off if it was Jim and Excalibur.
Honestly, with Jim Ross and Justice Excalibur, honestly, I thought Marv's was going to go after the pre-show, and that's what it was going to be. That's honestly what I thought. And then they all three said to stay together. I think the problem is when you have a three-man booth, I don't like three-man booths anyway.
Either do I.
Only sports I could kind of see it in is boxing. I think the problem with having JR and Alex Marvs in there is you have two play-by-play guys. And then you have one color guy that's trying to give you the color on his own. I don't even like Cornette. But I thought the commentary in the Crockett Cup was tremendous.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and I don't know the contractual status, and I've actually heard, I believe the Bucks and Cody bring this up. They said that they thought Don Callis was the best. They need to get Don Callis over there.
You know what?
Not only from the commentary's perspective, if you listen to some of the stuff, it was his idea to bring Jericho to New Japan. He brings, Big Mike Elgin to Impact.
Yeah.
It just seems like you have a wrestling mind there and a very good commentator. And honestly, I think the New Japan commentary suffered without Callis and Kelly.
This is tough. Like, if I was going to pick on one thing, and I'm not really picking on it because I don't know the solution, but there was something I didn't like with the broadcast team, and if they can fix that, like, that would be my one gripe as a fan, like a technical gripe. Something needs to be done with the commentary team, but I don't know what.
But here's the other thing I'll say. Again, first show, they probably never commentated anything together. Like, come on, even if you do a test show, it's not the same. I thought at times that they didn't know enough between the three of them. Because when the Young Bucks did more bang for your buck, Alex Marvs called all the specific moves and then says, I see the Young Bucks have won with that maneuvers before. And I'm like, dude, it's more bang for your buck. Like, that's all you got to say, more bang for your buck. You don't got to, he's doing blah, 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 blah. No, more bang for your buck. You say more bang for your buck, Young Bucks match, we know what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
it's like,
yeah.
He knew enough to say he's seen them win with the maneuver before, but he didn't say more bang for your buck. So it was almost like, wait, Excalibur didn't know that, JR didn't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And there were times like that spot after the tag match, the Best Friends and Angelico, when those guys, I don't even know what you're gonna call them, came out. To me, I get you want it to be mysterious and everything else. Having like Excalibur say, "Oh, that's so and so and so and so from OVW," you know what I'm saying? Like, having one of those guys just say who they are and where they were from would have added so much to that. The fact that they're all like, "I don't know who these guys are." I'm like, well, if you don't know who they are, how the fuck am I supposed to know who they are? I don't even know. I know a lot of guys and I don't know who they are. It was very like confusing, that whole segment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I was going to get to it later, but I thought the commentary was tough on that too. So I'm like, why not bring it up now? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't one guy, like you always have that one guy, like the Mike Tenay. Mike Tenay knows everybody. Didn't Mike Tenay sign with AEW? Am I missing something?
I could have swore. Yeah, I could have swore that was reported months ago.
Great.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
Maybe backstage stuff. Yeah, definitely we'll have to look into it. But I'm just saying is like you want to have that one like brainiac who knows all the guys.
Right.
Oh, that's Savage Steve and the Brasher. Yeah, I'm just being a dick. But you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's move on to the first match here. SoCal Uncensored, SCU, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Scorpio Sky versus Stronghearts. I think their Chinese team was calling themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense was different and so much better than I expected. We talked about it on the pre-show where they high flying, where this and that.
Yeah.
I didn't get that sense. I got the old school power wrestling, strong style, bash you at moves. And listen, anything that SCU it does is going to be good. Daniels and Kazarian are just ageless.
Oh my God, Daniels is crazy, man.
They're unbelievable.
I can't believe it's so still him.
Listen,
at his age, it's crazy.
Well, they're all good. They're all good. Scorpio Sky's good. SCU's good. The crowd loves them. I know there have been people that are like, the match wasn't that great. I enjoyed it, dude. I enjoyed it. I
thought it was an awesome opening.
And I got something out of those Chinese wrestlers that the Young Bucks are accredited to bringing in that I never expected.
Ever since, I think it was Matt at the press conference or the announcement, the rally. Yeah, it was rally they were calling it. Anyway, he brought up Cirque du Soleil. And Stames brought that up on the pre-show. I was expecting something like that we were going to hate.
Right, and we got pro wrestling.
Dude, we got pro wrestling. They could have been 3 guys from New Japan's undercard, and it would have been the same thing. I thought they were excellent. And it wasn't different. It wasn't like some kind of crazy, high-spotty, tumbling act. They were wrestlers.
And and honestly, it's a great point you bring up because you almost have to blame Matt and Nick Jackson for that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they said. But really, you got pro wrestling out of these guys. If you had told me that those guys have wrestled in the United States for 10 years, other than the blonde-haired, dojo kid that took the pin,
yep,
I would have believed it. They were tremendous.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, very, very good stuff. I thought it was a good show open. The crowd was hot for it. SCU opening the show. I think, our match order that we did on the pre-show was very off.
Oh, God,
it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. I don't remember what we even picked in it. I think we were all kind of all over the place trying to figure out what this was really going to be.
Yeah.
Mainly because we didn't know all the players and what they brought to the table. And... I remember Stames even saying, are we going to see flips and high spots? And I was like, yeah, dude, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Because I kind of wanted to see them with a fresh mind. And I got to say, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Good amount of time, crowd's hot, the whole thing. We move into the first ever AEW women's match. Britt Baker, Kylie Ray, Nyla Rose, and Brandy comes out and says, which I thought this was cool too. Brandy came out in her ring gear. So in your mind, everybody's thinking Brandy's going to enter herself in this match because Cody's telling her she's got to wrestle and the whole thing. Brandy comes out ring gear, different dress on than when you saw her earlier, the whole thing. And she said, I want this match to be awesome. Bang, Awesome Kong. I found it fitting that Awesome Kong was in this match because it felt very knockout-esque. More so than WWE women/divas-esque.
Yes. Good way to put it. Yes.
Felt very knockout-esque to me. I liked Allie on commentary. But at that point, I don't need the 4 commentators. Get Mars out of there. Get Excalibur out of there. Or just let JR and Allie do it herself. Allie, who's formerly Allie Impact, I saw her wrestle in the XWA Rumble with the guys as Cherry Bomb, and then and
then she died, and then she died in Impact.
Right. So. Then she bounced around the indie scene. She goes on Impact, and then she dies. Well, so Allie Impact is reincarnated as Allie, doing commentary on AEW, and they're kind of setting some stuff up for shows down the road. Like I said, adding Awesome Kong to the match, the style of the match, I thought the pace of the match was very knockouts like. I thought Kylie Ray presented herself better in this match than I thought she would. Nyla Rose had her big moment with the spear into the steps for Awesome Kong, which kind of took her out of the match, which is kind of kind of how I thought the match would go, where Britt Baker would get the victory over Kylie Ray and Nyla Rose would be out of it, just to keep her strong and to move on to whichever one she moves on to, which you could still do that, or you could do her and Awesome Kong. They got a lot of ways they could go. But there was one other part of this match, which I got to bring up to you, which I found tremendous, and this was JR. This was where JR was JR. When Britt Baker comes out, and he goes, Britt Baker DMD. For you people in Oklahoma, that means she's a dentist.
Yes. Yes.
Bro, I was crying when he said that. I was just, that's where, you know what? At that moment, that was comfortable, JR.
Yep.
Just letting it go. You know what I mean?
Yep, letting it fly. Yeah, Excalibur too, man. Throughout that match, he kept accentuating DMD. DMD was over in my house with everybody. We just kept laughing. It was very old school, like, you know, heel on the mic, you know, addressing the fact that she's a dentist. It was great.
Right.
And dude, I got to tell you too, Kylie, everybody before the show is like, oh, she's like Bailey. Oh, she's like Bailey. Dude, that chick is so over the top. I couldn't take my eyes off the fact that she was smiling at everything. Dude, Awesome Kong comes out in a swerve, and she's standing there like a beast, and Kylie is smiling like she's excited for her. It's hysterical.
It is hysterical. And let's put it this way, she can go too.
Oh, yeah. She's very good.
And here, there was one other thing I liked about this match when it comes to Britt Baker, which was different from All In. She came out to Adam Cole's music, and she made it very known that she's Adam Cole's girlfriend. On this show, none of it.
Yes, I like that.
She was Britt Baker DMD.
She was on her own. Yep, standing on her own.
And I think that was the right way to play that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't bring this up to you on the pre. This actually aired on the pre-show, but while we're talking about the women's matches, Sadie Gibbs.
Oh yes. Do you know her?
I don't. European women's wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Looks jacked.
Yeah.
One thing I love, and this was on the pre-show, and you could attest to this. How long have I been screaming for a wrestling company to do this? Just give me a freaking training montage.
Yep.
Make somebody look like a badass and give me their fucking name. And then when they debut, I'll find out who they are.
Yeah. Very good. I will say this about the women's match. Cody keeps saying the lapsed fan. We're after the lapsed fan. You know? The guy that doesn't watch wrestling anymore but did. Those 10 million on Monday night that disappeared 20 years ago. My brother being one of them. After this women's match, he goes, that actually wasn't a bad match. And I said, yeah, it was pretty good.
Definitely. Your brother said that?
Yeah, he's a lapsed fan, okay? I said, yeah, that's usually the piss break for us, isn't it? And he goes, it was pretty good. Like, I'm glad I watched it. Dude, that says a lot. That says a lot coming from an Attitude Era, you know, checked out of wrestling 17 years ago guy.
Let me ask you this question. How did you get him to watch AEW?
I didn't get him to watch it. Chris Jericho got him to watch it. That's very important, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Because we will be thanking you on this podcast and whatever YouTube show.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris. I love that. I would wait an all show to say thank you to Chris Jericho.
Thank you, Chris Jericho.
Thank you.
From all of us, thank you.
Thank you. And we have more people to thank, but thank you, Chris Jericho, at this point.
So dude, there is truth to what he's saying, what his quote unquote gimmick is right now. There's a lot of truth to it.
I listen, I think it's very important we get to this during this show. But I want to bring this up to you, and I didn't want to go here, but it's a topic, so I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
You brought up the fact that the women pee break the whole thing.
Yep.
Going into Money in the Bank. And I actually did a show this week that is lost in the archives, technical difficulties.
Yes.
It's a long story, whatever. If I ever produced all the shows that lost in the archives, about 6 months of content. Anyway, I was at Money in the Bank. And I had said to you and many others going in that Becky 2 beer breaks. Basically saying Becky was going to be my 2 bathroom breaks.
Yep.
And then we were standing in the bar watching the pre-show, which is a whole other story, which I sent you the videos of. And me and my boy Jim were talking, and we're like, I wonder if they're going to do those 2 matches back to back, which they did. Anyway, long story short, the longest lines to go to the bathroom all night at Money in the Bank. And if you watch the pay-per-view back and you look at the stands, I'll prove to you that it's true. The 205 Live Cruiserweight Championship match between Daivari and Tony Nese. And I take nothing away from those guys. Especially, I've seen Tony Nese on the Indies. I love Tony Nese. Nobody gave a flying fuck. You couldn't even get in the goddamn bathroom. You couldn't get a beer. Nothing during that match. It was like a rain delay at a baseball game.
Wow.
True story.
That's not good.
So that is what WWE's doing with those kind of athletes that you all claim you want to see.
Yeah,
For those of you out there disparaging AEW for doing what they're doing. Unscripted violence, baby.
Unscripted violence.
We didn't get there. Wow.
Oh.
Listen, we didn't even get to the good stuff.
I know. So far, so good, but we're not even there yet.
Oh, man, this show was tremendous. All right, man. So moving on. Best Friends versus Angelico. Best Friends are Trent Beretta and Chucky Taylor, for those of you who don't know. I would say if you're a wrestling fan, you're more likely to probably know Best Friends, Chucky T, and especially Trent Beretta than you would know Angelico or Jack Evans. Unless you're a Lucha Underground guy, you would definitely know Angelico and Jack Evans. But we got a tag match here, which I thought was pretty good. I don't know how you felt about this match. I kind of felt like Evans, Chucky, and Trent were very engaged and having a good match. And I felt like Angelico just was a fish out of water.
Dude, I agree 100%, and I don't know why. I was shocked.
Dude, shocked. Like, there were times where Jack Evans was just wrestling Chucky T and Trent Beretta, and I'm like, so is Angelico going to jump from the rafter or something?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is he?
Jack Evans, to me, I thought, stole the show, but surprisingly, he carried that team. Dude, I don't know what was up with Angelico, for real.
And when you looked at Angelico, I'm like, well, size-wise, he belongs.
Yeah, he's taller than
Jack
I thought.
Evans looked like the midget in the match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, it was just very strange. Like I said, the match was good. Best Friends get the win, and given how the match went, I think that was okay. I mean, again, we're in the baby stages. I don't know if you could go crazy about who won and who lost until we get further down the road here. It kind of disappointed me. You know what I mean?
Yep. And because of that, it brought the match down a little bit. And it brought my mood down a little bit.
For us though, I guess if you don't know Angelico and you're just worried about Chucky D and Trent Beretta, you probably enjoyed the match and they got the win. And but for us who know Angelico, I a little deflating.
Yeah, a little deflating.
Yes. If you want to be fair and you want to point out the good, and like we always say, we'll point out the bad. Yeah, man, I'm disappointed in that Angelico performance. Listen, would it shock me if the next time he comes out and we're like, holy shit, that's fucking Angelico, motherfucker, and everybody's going crazy? Wouldn't shock me one bit. But for one night, it was a little disappointing. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, and it's hard to even say anything specific because it's like he really didn't do anything. Like he had a couple spots, he had a couple of his kicks in there and stuff, but there's nothing really to talk about with him, which is strange.
We had this, the lights go out. And I'll give JR credit. He kind of said, oh, it's our first show, technical difficulties, but our map light is still on our booth here, or whatever the hell he called it. Then the lights come on. You have all these guys in masks surrounding the ring. You have this heavier guy in a mask, and you have this savagery guy, and they're beating up everybody, and they're doing their little thrones in the ring. And nobody gave you an explanation of who they were. And I'm just going to bring this point home again. If you're going to be fair about the positives, let's accentuate the negatives too. I just think there's got to be someone that says, this is so-and-so and so-and-so. This is where they come from. Oh, my God, why are they here? And if the lights go out after that and you don't see them again for the rest of the night and they bring it back 6 weeks from now, great. I just think not giving you anything was like, eh.
Yeah, well.
It kind of added to, like, the disappointment of that match.
Yes, it did. It ended disappointing because of that. The thing I wanted to say about this is, like, just to explain it in a way. TNA, they're going to debut the Aces and Eights, but they had them doing run-ins with masks on because part of that gimmick was the reveal of the guys. All right? This doesn't work here because they're just masked guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and the main guy was unmasked.
But
we didn't know who he was, and nobody knows who he is to even tell us who he is.
It's
so
fucking Bully. If it's Bully Ray, you're like, okay, I get it. It's Bully Ray.
Exactly.
But this guy's not Bully Ray.
Exactly. So yeah, another weird spot. Weird spot to end a weird match because of Angelico. Yeah. I don't know.
Right. That I'm interested to see where all that goes. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and if you're out there listening, down in the comments, explain to us. You know, are these guys from some promotion somewhere that anybody knows? Whatever.
Great point. If you know who they are, please let us know, because in the indie scene now, I know a lot of guys, but I know a lot of guys from the Northeast. That's 3-4 states.
Right. There's plenty of places out there that we don't know.
46 other states. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know Austin Theory until he showed up in Rhode Island. You know what I mean? So I know Austin Theory now, and I probably knew him before a lot of people because a promotion here brought him in. But, if you're – I mean, I don't even want to throw a state out there because I don't want to be an asshole, but if you're fucking sitting there in Kentucky and you're like, you dumbass, that's – I don't know what a DMD is, but I know who that is, you dumbass. Put it in the comments because I want to know who he is.
Yeah, seriously, put it down there because I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to get to another point of this show where if I'm, even being me, even being you, I don't want to speak for you. Being me, even being a casual fan or whatever, I don't understand this match placement. And I don't want to say the match was bad, but I was very like, just, can we get this over with now? Like, I don't care. It was the women's 6-man match. I wasn't a fan of this match. I didn't see the need for this on this show. I think that if they want to do stuff like this, there's a time and point for it down the road. I just think that when you have the type of talent that they utilized on that pre-show Battle Royale, and then you have this match, like, could 6 of those guys done a better match here? Probably. But I also heard from Tony Khan after the show that this talent was brought in by Kenny Omega. So were they doing Omega solid here? Dude, I got to be honest. I'm trying to be nice. I don't get this one, bro. I just don't.
All right. Let's get into this a little bit because apparently one of the Bucks, I think, said at StarCast that they have their creative meeting is an ongoing process that they and whoever else is involved are on a group text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. I'm assuming because Tony said that Kenny brought these girls in. This was a Kenny idea, so they gave him, this was an undercard spot for Kenny that Kenny booked. Dude, I don't know why it was on the show. And to be honest, it gave it an exhibition, indie show, house show type feel.
Do you think? Did you think it minimized the matches before it too?
Yeah, I think it minimized the whole show.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand it. Now, was there some talent? Yeah, they were all talented, but it was like I didn't get it. It was just very strange.
This to me was a dark match before they went on air. I'm sorry.
Dark match. Yes.
It has nothing to do with them being. It could have been 6 Japanese guys that we didn't know. It's not even that they're women. It's just that you could. I mean, and I gotta say, there were a couple spots where the crowd was into it. I guess I don't know if they were searching for something. I've had again numerous conversations with friends of mine from all walks of wrestling. And the WWE centric guys, we'll call them, the fanboys, so to speak, they all said that everything before Cody and Dustin felt blah. And I don't think it was blah. I think there was some good stuff before that. Save some of the stuff we could tweak. Angelico, the first match was great. The women's match was great. I thought those 2 matches were great. That other tag match could have been better. Had Angelico had a bigger spot, had we known who these masked guys were. But this one was just out of nowhere, out of left field. This seemed to me like we want some people from Japan to buy the show, so here we go.
That could have been, that could have been only like why it was there. Maybe they wanted some Japanese bias.
I know, it's very, and listen, we know. Listen, Kenny's the Japanese guy. Mm-hmm. I think they were trying to let them all get their own staple on the show. And I've always viewed Kenny Omega as a very smart guy in this business. But I'm going to tell you this. If this is what Kenny Omega is going to bring aside from his matches, just wrestle, bro.
Right. Right.
Just
That's right. Yeah.
I'm trying to be as honest as I can be. Listen, we told you we're going to be honest about this shit.
Yeah.
We're not going to sugarcoat it. This was not good. It shouldn't have been on the show. And I haven't read a review that thought it should be and it thought it was good.
Yeah.
So it's not just us. And listen, and the Bucks too. If you're going to bring in those Chinese guys and give us some kind of Circus Olay and you get pro wrestlers, why don't you just say they're fantastic pro wrestlers that happen to be Chinese?
Right. Right. Dude, and this is one of the things, like, and I know we're not through the whole card yet, but one of the things that I loved about this show was there was a little bit of different stuff. They had humor, they had women, they had, the old school match with Cody and Dustin, whatever, all the good stuff.
Which we're headed there.
Right. And Cody keeps saying throughout this week, Eric Bischoff said something to him that stuck with him, and he said, the buffet. Give people a buffet, right?
I heard him say that.
Well, this match right here, and I'm sorry, Kenny, but Kenny made that green jelly, or the Jello, that sits there that nobody takes off the buffet.
Bro, that's the nasty fucking pasta that's soft and disgusting.
Yep. It's been sitting under a light for 12 hours, and you know it.
That's the penne alla vodka and ain't alla vodka. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I mean, and dude, I'm not bashing on the 6 girls, whatever. It was just you're trying to do.
They did a good job. They did a good job. I don't even want to say the match was that terrible because
it shouldn't have been on the show. I don't know who that's going to bring in and keep. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what was funny though, and I'm going to give the live audience credit for this because if that's a WWE live audience, they would have shat all over that.
Oh, yeah.
They would have took a steaming pile, beach balls, waves, shat all over it. And you want to know what that AEW audience did? They cheered for that fucking match. Give the live audience a little bit of credit.
That was one of the best crowds I ever saw, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, we're going to get there. And yes. I texted you some very bold statements which we're going to get to. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to give the live audience credit. The workers, too. Give the girls credit. Listen, it's not their fault they were put in an impossible situation, which I think they were put in an impossible situation, and I think they probably made the best of it.
Yeah.
And the crowd did a good job with that match. They could have easily been the millennial wrestling fan. I even hear our old boy Ken Reedy talk about it. The millennial wrestling fan that's sitting at WrestleMania shitting on Triple H and Batista because that's not what they want. And they're booing it and they're saying this shit sucks. I didn't hear this shit sucks during that match, though.
No.
I heard an audience that was trying to egg him on, that was invested, that was cheering. So for you people out there that want to make fun of the AEW audience, they clearly like pro wrestling more than you do. Let's be fair.
That's fair assessment.
All right, we'll move on. And do we have another hour? Because
yeah, we do. What's next?
Successful soldiers of